The sympathetic nervous system. Is this a word that's familiar to most of you guys? Your sympathetic nervous system? So I want to ask you to take kind of an evolutionary perspective on breathing. And imagine that you were, say, running away from a lion. Do you think you'd be breathing through your mouth or your nose? No. Your mouth, right? You're running away from a lion. You're definitely breathing through your mouth. Why? Yeah, exactly what you said before, right? When you breathe through your mouth, you're able to take in the most amount of air as quickly as possible, and it goes right to your body so that you can run away from the lion. Right? When your sympathetic nervous system is activated, right, your sympathetic nervous system is your often thought of as your fight, flight, freeze response. Now they've added faint, which makes it a little more complicated because that's a feature of the parasympathetic nervous system. But for our purposes today, right, when your body is getting ready for an emergency, you breathe through your mouth. Right? Now, do you think that your body would let you breathe through your nose if you were running away from a lion? It won't even let you. Right? When your sympathetic nervous system is turned on, right, that means you're getting ready for something. Your body is getting ready for something. So some of you guys mentioned feeling a little kind of like in the body, breathing through your mouth. And that's a very common kind of thing, that you feel a little bit of anxiety in the body. Some people have a hard time actually sitting still when they're breathing through their mouth. They actually kind of start tapping a little bit or moving a little bit. And some people, that's why I asked you about your eyes, some people have a really hard time keeping their eyes closed when they're breathing through their mouth. Why? Because breathing through our mouth starts to activate our sympathetic nervous system. It starts to tell our bodies, okay, get ready. Something's going to happen. Right? Let's wake up. Let's be a little prepared. Right? And when that sympathetic nervous system is starting to activate, our minds are scanning for threats. Scanning, scanning, scanning. What's going on? What do I need to pay attention to? Right? So when your sympathetic nervous system is in charge, how easy do you think it is for your kids to focus? Right? They can't. They just can't. Like, for real can't. Not they're choosing not to, or they're not listening, or their behavior is bad. Right? When they're in that sympathetic nervous system activation state, their mind is scanning for threats, unless maybe it finds one, and then is very focused. Right? And their body is getting ready for action. Right? So how easy is it for them to sit still? Not so easy. Yeah? All right, let's see what the opposite is, and then we'll talk about our breath a little bit more. So the alternative is the parasympathetic nervous system. Thank you so much. When our parasympathetic nervous system is activated or in charge, that's often called our rest and digest system. So your parasympathetic nervous system is in charge of all of your basic metabolic functions, right? Your digestion, your immune functioning, healing, right? And for our kids, growth. Right? And that includes growth in your brain. Right? So what is learning? What is making new memories, new connections? That's growth in your brain, right? Which can only happen when the parasympathetic nervous system is in charge. When the parasympathetic nervous system is in charge, your mind can see the big picture. Right? That's when you can kind of take a step back, consider the consequences of your actions, think through all the implications of the situation at hand. Right? Does that make sense? When your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, you're usually breathing through your nose. Right? Some exceptions might be if you have a cold. Right? But you're usually breathing through your nose. Why? What do you guys think? It's just the healthiest way for your body to breathe. Right? The air is warmed, filtered, right? And you can breathe. You don't need that speed. Right? Like Michael, right, was saying, when he was breathing through his mouth, he could take in a lot of air really fast. You don't need to take in a lot of air really fast if your parasympathetic nervous system is in charge. Things are okay. So you can just breathe warm, filtered, slowly moving air, and you're fine. Right? Now, the really amazing thing about this parasympathetic-sympathetic situation, right, is that not only does the activation of our sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system change our breathing can actually change what kind of nervous system we're operating out of. Right, so you guys started to see that a little bit this morning. Would you have thought that just 1 minute of changing something in your physical experience would have such an impact on your energetic and emotional experience? Right? 1 minute of changing your breathing really changed the way that you felt this morning.